Hi guys, how are you? Um, I am getting ready to cook dinner. I know it's a little late, but that's neither here nor there. Um, we are going to cook dinner. We're going to have a good time, okay? So, we are cooking spatchcock chicken. If you have not seen my YouTube channel, you need to go over because I'm not really going to go into great detail of how to cook a spatchcock chicken because I have a YouTube video that is thorough and the entire step-by-step process of how to spatchcock the chicken and cook it is on there. I will give you guys a couple of tidbits because I don't like to just be on here silent and not talking. But if you want the step by step plus the recipe, all you need to do is go over to um, At Home with Rashad Terry, or you can type in I am Rashad Terry on YouTube, and you can find the full on um, video there. I'm just trying to make sure really quickly that everything is everything and it's working and it's up. Okay, perfect. Everything is everything. So let's get started, shall we? If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, don't hesitate to ask. Um, yeah, and we're going to hop right on in this thing. 1 second, though. I need to plug my phone up. These pull them out. I can never pronounce them. They're like grapefruits, pomelos. They are so sweet and so in season right now, and I've been absolutely loving them. Um, you can't get on this phone and not be sidetracked. Um, so let's get started, shall we? I'm just sharing the live with a few people because you know you got. It's been a long time since I've been on live, and I don't necessarily know if I got it like that no more, where I can like multitask. So this is where we are. It's been a long time. All right, I will go live on Instagram or TikTok, but my phone is dead, so we're not gonna press that. Spatchcocking the chicken. Okay, so I already have a whole young chicken inside of the sink in a plate. It's already been cleaned. It's already been rinsed, and we're just going to transfer her over. You want to break the breastbone, and then I'm going to go right on each side of the spine, and we're just going to cut the spine right out. You will need some sharp kitchen shears to do this. Otherwise, you won't be successful. So invest in you some good kitchen shears. So this whole bone should be cut right out, the whole spine. She's a stubborn something tonight. So that's what we're taking out. Now we can flip it over. this is typically how you will lay your chicken. So I am going to put it in a cast iron today. So we're going to sear the outside of it really quickly and season it up real nice before we put it in our pan to get good and seasoned. Okay? So the goal is to let that thing go in there and be really nice and hot. Okay? All right. So we have our cast iron. I'm going to turn it on. High heat. I'm going to grab my homemade butter. If you don't know how to make butter, it's really simple. You just buy whole milk. If you have a KitchenAid mixer, you're going to use your, where is it? You're going to use your cake mixer with your KitchenAid. Just put the whole milk in there, turn it on low for about 15 minutes. And then turn it up to like level 3 or 4. Turn it up to like level 3 or 4. Oh, wait, we live. Yes, we live. We live in the building. Oh, yes. I love the color combo of the outfit in the kitchen. Oh, thanks. And so what you'll do is just 15 minutes on low. And then once you start to see the buttermilk and the butter separate, you turn it up one notch just to help to speed up the process once everything is fully separated. And you get butter. Butter right now is about $9 for a 4-pack. You can get a carton of whole milk. Not whole milk, I'm sorry. Heavy cream for $2.92. And you make 4 sticks of butter out of that. You will have, as you can see, some buttermilk kind of lingering. But I leave it in the refrigerator with the top off so that we don't have to worry necessarily about that. What ultimately happens is that buttermilk will kind of evaporate from the milk. So I've got 2. So on the top of this, I have a seasoned blend. Is that what you call spatchcock chicken or something like that? Yes. This is a spatchcock chicken. I already cut the breastbone out of it and flipped it over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook my spatchcock chicken inside of a cast iron pan today. I already have my oven set to 425. And we are going to take a little bit of our homemade butter. And we're going to put that in our pan. And what I'm going to do is this is a seasoned blend I made. It's got some Italian seasoning, some Creole seasoning, some oregano, onion powder. What else did I put in here? A little bit of chili powder, salt, sazon. Rich and flavorful. You want to make sure that you're getting in between the wings as well. Okay? And what we're going to do is, first I'm going to wash my hands so we'll bring no salmonella over too. All right? So what we're going to do is, we're going to take this over. I'm going to turn my heat down to low. Don't do like me and where you always forgetting that this is cast iron and the whole thing gets hot. So we've got our butter in there. And we're just going to place this right in that pan with the seasoned side down. All right? And we're going to season the other side while that's searing. And we're going to save that little bit of seasoning that's left for when we flip it back over. We're going to season the top a little bit more and then put it in the oven. What I'm also going to do while that is searing on one side, turn my heat up to medium. We're going to come over here with our carrots. I love a good carrot with a spatchcock chicken, right? And we're just going to give these a nice rough chop. Nice cleaver here. I like to leave the skin on my spatchcock chicken. On my carrots, because the skin is where all of the nutrients are. So I just cut the ends. Eat your colors, okay? My godmom, Ivy, always says it. Eat your colors. It's truly something that is very important. You get your nutrients from your reds, your oranges, your greens. Your deep purples are rich in a lot of nutrients. They help to fight cancer. So we're just going to give these a rough chop. I'm not going to dice them up too much. Just cut them in half. The smaller you cut them, the more of the nutrients you'll cut out of them. And then we'll cut these in half. So the reason I'm cutting them in half is because I'm going to salt these. And it's going to give us a nice little flavor. Some of the bigger ones. The smaller ones like this, just leave them as they are. And when you're cutting things that are more round, I'm going to show you what the trick is. The trick is you want to drive your knife forward. So now I have a good level. So when I go down into that carrot, it's not rolling. The knife is sustained so that the carrot, who can't sustain itself, can easily get a nice chop through. And always fingers down. So if you do get close to the fingers, the nail bed will stop you from cutting your finger. Okay? And what we're going to do is give these, I'm going to wet them a little bit before I give them a nice salt. We're going to line those up in our bowl. All right? Give the salt something to stick to. Nice little salt bath. I'm also coming around. I'm scared of that knife. This knife is amazing. My favorite knife. I got it from Brookstone. I don't know if y'all can see that. But, baby, cuts down. Not the child safety knife. Not a butter knife. You ain't gonna cut nothing with no butter knife. I'm gonna also take a little bit of onion. Because we want this to be nice and rich in flavor. Just give them a rough chop. And that's what's going to go on the bottom of our pan. Now we're ready to give this a flip. We can turn our heat off. I'm going to bring it over here so you can see it for a second. Take a little more butter. Put on the sides. So as you can see, we've got a nice sear on the top. I'm going to take, if I can find it, where did I put it? We're going to take the rest of that seasoning and just lightly dust it over the top. Leave a little bit. Take our carrots. Carrots hold water, so they're going to have a little bit of moisture. Put those around. The chicken broth will also, from the chicken, will also give us some nice flavors on those carrots and things. We're going to take our onions. And what we really want to do, to be honest, if I'm being honest, is we want to get that up under there. So I'm going to go ahead and lift this. There we go. We want it to be good and flavored, those vegetables, and have a nice sear from the cast iron, right? And we are going to take the rest of our seasoning, work it in, over, under, and then I'm going to take a little bit of, where's my, a little bit of vegetable broth, pour over the top, put a little bit in the bottom. All right. And that's our spatchcock chicken. It's going to go in the oven, 425, for about 45 minutes to an hour, or until it reaches 165 degrees internally. And we are also going to baste our chicken every 30 minutes to an hour. So I like to do every 30 minutes for the first every 15 minutes for the next 30 minutes, and then I'll come in every 10 minutes the last 15 minutes, just so that the top keeps its juices and all of the flavors stay in there. So I'm going to put this in the oven just like so. Push it back. And again, if you need help with your spatchcock chicken, no worries. On my YouTube channel, there was already a full-on tutorial on how to make spatchcock chicken. So I'm going to clean up my area, and we're going to move on to our next dish. I've got a scrap bowl in here. For those of you who garden, your scrap bowl is your compost bowl. If you know, you know. I am the type of person that likes to clean as they cook. I don't like to be cleaning a whole bunch of stuff. After I done ate, I like to get it done. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and sweep all of our seasonings and things. I like a clean sink as I'm cooking, okay? All right, so this next thing that I'm going to make requires the oven as well. As well as baby, when I say this sink will get you right together with its splashes. All right, so next we're going to do our potatoes. So I'm going to cook one because I have a special request for one to be baked as such, like a whole potato. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pan and we're going to take a little parchment paper. I'm going to show you guys, that was too much paper, honey. And I'm going to show you guys two ways. So one of the potatoes is going to be a whole potato. So nothing really needs to be done to it, but oiled and forked. So all you do is literally oil it. This will help some of the moisture stay inside of it. And then you're going to come behind it with a fork. And just put the fork through it. It's going to bake for about 45 minutes to an hour. You can salt the outside, but I don't feel it's necessary for this specific situation. Beautiful thing is baked potatoes cook a lot quicker, in my personal opinion, than regular potatoes. But this other one is mine. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to first make a flat, and I am going to cut it like so. And I am going to oil this one up too. And we're going to season it. Right. So I'm going to take a little salt. little chili powder. For a little heat. A little heat ain't never hurt nobody. Light dusting of paprika. And onion powder. And then top it with a little bit of this homemade sazon. And these are going to go on just like that. Whatever oil is left, potato chips out. You'll put that in the oven for about 45 minutes. Now, it's time for our next side for that specific meal. And then I'm going to show you a really cool appetizer. Actually, tastes really amazing. You'd be surprised once you see what it is. So, because I just made butter, right? I really want to get the utilization of the actual buttermilk. So when you make homemade butter, you get what's left is buttermilk. So it would be food to let all of this good buttermilk waste. So what we're going to do is we're going to make some buttermilk biscuits. Inside of here, I have 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of chickpea flour, because it's gluten-free. So cutting the regular flour in half really gives you that ability to, like, you don't get so much of the bloating of the belly. And then I have a teaspoon of baking soda and a teaspoon of salt, all in here. I'm going to take a whisk. And we're going to marry those ingredients together. Okay. Now, I'm going to take 1 cup of buttermilk. And then I'm going to take my cold butter now. So I have some room temp butter. Now I have some cold butter. I'm going to set this to the side for a second. And we are going to cut about a half a stick of this cold butter. And I'm going to dice this into small pieces. Okay. Inside of my flour mixture, we're going to put our 1 cup of buttermilk, and we're going to break that butter and take those little chunks of butter into that as well. Now this is going to go on low in my KitchenAid mixer. Until it marries to a nice biscuit. Shouldn't take long. Doesn't take long at all with the mixer. All right. And what we're going to do is on a small pan, I feel like I can use just a teeny bit, weeny bit more flour. So fold a little bit, like maybe 3 teaspoons of flour into that. There we go. Because you don't want your biscuits, you want them to be a little thick so that they have some time to cure and rise in the oven. If it's too watery, it may spread. Right. I'm going to take some more parchment paper. Place it on our pan. And we'll take a serving spoon for this. So I see on live that there's a comment. Oh, hey friend. How you doing? So we're going to take a little bit of this. It doesn't have to be perfect. And we're going to lay our biscuits down. I'm not making the picture perfect round biscuit. If you really look at how biscuits really look, that ain't it. You see, it's really simple. Now, what you could do is you could make swim butter biscuits in a smaller pan, put butter in it, like maybe a half a stick of butter, let it melt, and just pour the whole thing in there and cut it afterwards. But that's not what I'm doing today. Take this last little bit. I can make one more biscuit. All right. And those are our biscuits, buttermilk biscuits. Put these in the oven for 15 minutes. I'm gonna have to make some room up in here. Let me show y'all what the chicken is looking like so far. So we've got a whole young spatchcock chicken up in here with carrots, and it's looking divine. Okay, we've got our sweet potatoes in there. Now we're gonna reset and we're gonna make the order for this dinner. Very quick, simple, like y'all see, it's taking about 30 minutes for me to prep the entire dinner. I feel like what's gonna take the most is actually what I'm about to make next, which is the hors d'oeuvre. Now this hors d'oeuvre with a biscuit, and then have some spatchcock chicken with a sweet potato on the side as the main course, divine. All right, so let's clean up, because y'all know I don't function well in a dirty kitchen. Make a little dishwater. Gotta clean in between. I don't care about no downtime, honey. Can't function in a dirty kitchen. Even if the kitchen's dirty before I come in it, I gotta clean up before I can cook. Anybody grandma ever did that? I remember one time my grandmother was at my house, and my mom or my dad asked me to do something. No, matter of fact, I was getting ready to cook, and they decided to just come. And she sat there, and she watched me start pulling stuff out that refrigerator, as if I was about to just start cooking. When I tell you, she came right in that kitchen and said, "Baby, how you gonna make something and you ain't cleaned up yet. You need to wash them dishes. Like, she went off. And ever since then, I've always knew that I had to have a clean kitchen before I started cooking. And I always knew that I had to clean up as I was cooking. No other way would work. And I've been that way ever since. You gotta clean up before, during, and after. But the thing is, if you clean up your kitchen while you're cooking, it just makes the aftermath so much more easy. So now we're going to move into our next, which this is the appetizer. So I bought a whole cucumber, and what I'm going to do is with a spoon, we're going to scrape the inside of the seeds and everything out of the cucumber. Okay? This is going to make a really nice, clean hors d'oeuvre. Okay? So, taking my cucumber, set those aside. I'm going to take right now, I have some goat milk. I put some fig in it, as well as I have put a little bit of honey in it. So what the fig and the honey does is it kind of softens the bitterness of the fig. I'm also going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil in there. I'm going to take a teaspoon of, not a teaspoon, like a very small amount, maybe like a half a teaspoon of garlic, and put in there, minced garlic. I'm going to take a little bit of yellow mustard, like maybe a half a teaspoon, not too much. Okay. I be trying to keep brand names off. I normally have everything inside of, like, unless it's Trader Joe's, we're not freely endorsing it. So now we're going to finely dice some peppers. I got a couple of peppers left from some of the things that we've been eating this week, but I also have some sweet peppers here. So I'm going to take just a little bit of jalapeno, add some heat. I'm going to take a little bit of onion, a little bit of this red pepper, some yellow pepper, a little bit of orange sweet pepper, a little bit of red sweet pepper, and just a little bit of our yellow. I also have some green peppers here that I need to work in before they go bad. And then what I'm going to do is, with a fresh lime, I'm going to squeeze that lime juice inside of our mixture. Limes have not been the best this season. I don't know what's going on. I'm glad I only need a little bit. And don't throw your limes away. Cut your limes in half and put them down the drain. They will refresh your drain if you have a garbage disposal very well. Let me check on all of our biscuits are rising, chicken is cooking. Sweet potatoes are working themselves. So we're going to just dice this stuff up really quickly. Got my jalapeno. And you want it diced pretty small, not too big, because it is going to be a filling for it's going to be a filling inside of what we're getting ready to make. So you want it to be small. You can, if you're not good with dicing and cutting, I do recommend you just put it in a food processor. That should cut it up pretty well. But I enjoy cutting and dicing things up. So I'm going to do it the traditional way. So we're going to throw that on in there. Those jalapenos going to give us some nice heat. Take some of these green peppers. Really don't need this many. That's enough. I'll put that in something later. We're going to do tacos tomorrow anyway. Chicken tacos with some of that spatchcock chicken. Limes are having problems. Yes, they are. Limes have really been like not the most juiciest or flavorful at all. Like, it's so hard. Like, you have to buy almost like 10 limes in order to get like a good cup of lime juice. And it shouldn't be that way. And when I say I prepped that lime so much, and that was all the juice that I got out of it. So just really rough cuts, but you want it as fine as possible. I'm satisfied with that. I'm going to put that in there. Now I'm going to take my yellow pepper. And we're going to give this a good cut. It's time for me to sharpen this knife. Who was that? The real Travaris was like, oh, that knife scares him. Baby, this knife is getting dull. She going to have to go to Williams-Sonoma and get a good sharpen. Take our onion. And again, you don't need a lot, but it does need to be finely minced. And I'm taking all of what I'm not using, and we're going to use it in the tacos tomorrow for Taco Tuesday or Taco Saturday. Tomorrow is National Margarita Day, so it's only right to have a taco with a margarita with a taco and a taco with a margarita. Stay with me. It's actually time for me to baste my chicken. So we're going to pull that out in a second so we can baste it. I don't need, did I? Yeah, I do need. Well, I have that one. I did some yellow. Okay. I love onion, honey. As long as it's diced fine. Oh, I really don't need much of these, so. Right. Onions is tearing me up, honey. Wearing them eyes out. All right. And lastly, our I wish I said. Oh, actually, I'm gonna put a little bit of this in there too. This is not green pepper. That's poblano pepper. I love a heat, honey. Just do a little bit of that. hmm We keep a pepper plate in the refrigerator because it's gonna go in some of everything. All right. That. This is a very clean, very nice dessert. I mean, did the camera die?